Hi friends, welcome to Benchmark Unit 7, Week 1. Today we are going to be working on making some connections. And these are kind of different from the text-to-text, text-to-self, text-to-world connections. We're going to be looking at paragraph 1, and we're going to be making some connections to this timeline down here. So first we're going to read paragraph 1. Railroads changed the way Americans traveled. Difficult journeys became easy. Impossible journeys became possible. Grueling horse and wagon trips became fast, even luxurious voyages. New areas opened up for farming and trade. These changes were made possible by wealthy businessmen known as railroad tycoons. So now I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to look at this portion of the timeline and I'm going to read the different sections. So we have in 1827, I'm going to say, I know this word is high, and then we have L-E, so maybe Lee or Lay, Lehigh Coal and Navigation Company turns an old road into a gravity-powered railway. 1830, the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad, B&O. I am going to make a text-to-self or text-to-world connection. Monopoly, if you've ever played the game Monopoly, they have a B&O railroad. And I didn't realize that it probably comes from right here. So the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad, B&O, the oldest railroad in the U.S., begins operating. So in 1830, the first railroad begins operating their trains. Tom Thumb, oh my gosh, 2 in 1 section here. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a Tom Thumb gas station. They have some of them up in North Florida. I'm not sure if there are any down here. Tom Thumb, I wonder if their name has anything to do with the Transcontinental Railroad or one of the railroads that was built down here. That's really interesting. That's a text-to-world connection, or even a text-to-self, because I've personally been to one. So Tom Thumb, a steam locomotive, races a horse-drawn railroad car, showing the speed of steam-powered trains. So in 1830, the first railroad begins operating in Ohio, and the Tom Thumb steam locomotive races a horse-drawn cart. Then in 1850, over 14,000 kilometers or 9,000 miles of railroad lines have been built in the United States. That is a huge jump. And we go from 1830 to 1850. So in only 20 years, 9,000 miles of railroad have been built. Then in 1860, nearly every major city in the North and Midwest has been linked or connected together by train. And then in 1862, just 2 years later, President Lincoln signs the Pacific Railroad Act, setting up 2 railroad companies to connect the country from coast to coast by train. So all of these things happen in our timeline. And then up in our paragraph 1, it's talking about how railroads changed the entire way Americans traveled, how people used to have to go by horse and wagon or walk, and now it was kind of like a trip. It was a luxurious cabin, and you could just kind of sit back while the trains took you where you needed to go. It opened up new areas, and it changed everything that we were doing at that time. So what I want you to do, I want you to get yourself a lined piece of paper, and we are going to title this Making Connections. We're going to put our first and last name at the top. We're also going to put the date. Your date may be different than mine depending on when you are watching this video. Okay, and then we are going to answer the question, how does the timeline help you to understand paragraph 1? So we want to use race. So first we're going to restate our question. And we're going to restate our question, how does the timeline help you to understand paragraph 1? We're just going to take this part, the timeline helps me understand paragraph 1. And I'm going to put the word because. You might choose a different word. You might say the timeline helps me understand paragraph 1 by or because. And then you are going to answer the question, okay? You're answering it on your own to complete the sentence, okay? Tell me how the timeline helped you understand something in paragraph 1. What did you connect from here to here? How did it help you to understand? And that's all we're going to do for today. Finish your sentence, and then I need you to go ahead and take a picture and upload it to Canvas, and then we're done. Thank you for joining me.